Hey, everybody. Today we have Danny here, and we're going to be talking about just how he was able to scale his business to 150K in sales. But before we dive in, real quick, I just want to introduce him.
Hey guys, my name's Danny. I've been with Jaden for quite a bit, but I ramped up to 150K. I'm very excited and I'm ready to rock and roll and get 150K months with Jaden over here.
Sweet, man. Sweet. I'm excited for that, brother. So real quick, just really want to kind of I know we've been coaching for what, like last year and a half now. So want to start all the way back, even before we started. Like, could you kind of paint us the picture of like why you even got into Amazon? What was kind of going on and just the story before you even got started?
Yeah, so basically what I was doing before Amazon, I was working in car sales and it took a lot of my time away from the family. I do have a daughter, so I was like trying to figure out a way where I could invest my money to make more time for my family versus taking the time away. So that's when I found you, and you taught me the way as far as Amazon. And then Amazon, basically, I quit my job, but like a month ago,
Uh,
because I was just scaling so high, I felt like I didn't need that job no more. It was bring profit right now. Profit. We are bringing enough money so I don't have to work that job no more, that full time job. And keep in mind, guys, I was not making a regular 9 to 5 type of money. I was making really good money. I was making 10, $15,000 months at my full time job. So if I could do it, basically anybody can do it. Also.
for sure, for sure. But let's like really start at the beginning. So you were working at this car dealership. I mean, how long were you working there for?
I was working there for 9 going on 10 years, right? And I was working maybe like 60, 70 hours a week, and I was just basically waking up. And when I wake up, it was nighttime, and then when I get home, it was nighttime, and I seen my daughter getting raised without me. So that that right there basically gave me the drive to do something different, to get more freedom for myself and for my family. So that's basically where it all began. I didn't mind working, but once I had that child and seeing her being raised without me, then I had to find something different. Which that's when Amazon came into my life and it changed it dramatically.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So right when you had your daughter, that's when you started having those thoughts where it's like, yo, I have to switch lanes. I gotta get out of like that car sales.
Correct, correct. I had her, and then her just being raised without me, and the little things like her taking her first steps without me being there. Her, of course I wouldn't miss the first day of school, but like the little small things without me being there, like even Easter, I couldn't even make it to Easter sometimes. Sometimes her birthdays, I had to beg my boss to take my day off or whatnot. It was just it feels good having the freedom that I didn't have before. And I did it for my family, not for myself, for my family, so I could give them the time that I didn't provide before. Basically, that's where it all started from.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So if you don't mind me asking, like, when did you have your daughter?
I had my daughter in year 2018, but as of the first few years, she can't do nothing but eat, sleep, and poop. So the first few years I didn't mind because she was so small, but her growing up, when she get into soccer and stuff like that, now she's 5 going on 6. So these are the years I don't want to miss. These are the years I want to be there. Possibly even be a soccer coach or whatnot.
Yeah.
And intervene with her life. And I want her to say, "Yo, my daddy was there."
Yeah.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
basically the main reason.
So you had her in 2018. couple years go by. Obviously, she can't really do too much. At what point did you start realizing like, yo, maybe I should be there more for her, or maybe I should find another opportunity like Amazon so I could work less?
It was about 2020, 2021 in that range. And then that's when I found you. You know, when I found you, I started scaling, and this moved it on up little by little. It didn't happen overnight, but I did scale. And at 150K did make a dramatic change in my life. As far as bringing that profit home or whatnot. There's an X amount of dollars bringing home. It took over my income that I was making at the dealership.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so
Mhm.
so it took you like 2020, you started realizing that, yo, maybe I should spend more time with my daughter, started
Mhm.
looking into different opportunities. Were you like just set on Amazon, or were you looking at other things
No,
back in like 2020?
I was definitely looking at other avenues. 100% looking at different avenues. I didn't know if Amazon was even a real thing to invest in. I didn't even know if it was a kind of like a scam. I didn't know. You
Yeah.
know, but in order for you to make money, you gotta invest or scare. I guess scare money don't make money. You know,
Mhm.
I did think Amazon was a whole gimmick. I did think Amazon was a whole scam, but I had a couple of friends that invested in Amazon, and they told me Amazon FBA is a good model to get into. Um, and then as far as like meeting you, you kind of showed me the way. And Keepa basically made me feel secure investing my money. As far as for every thousand I put in, I know I'm gonna get that money back plus 20 to 40% back on top of that thousand, which is a no-brainer. You know,
Yeah, makes
Definitely
sense.
a no-brainer.
Makes sense. Yeah. And especially like with Keepa and just the product research tools we use. I mean, you could already see how many times the product's selling per month. You just got to pick them up. So I'm just curious, like what other opportunities were you looking at before you even got into Amazon?
Yeah, so I mean, there was Walmart, there was Walmart website, there was Spotify, all of those sites and whatnot. It just I didn't feel comfortable enough to go in there because there was no data. There was
Uh-huh.
no there was no insurance, right? Like Amazon gives you that insurance. It gives you that feeling that you're gonna get your money back without losing it. And
Makes
that's
sense.
what Amazon brings to you because they already have all the data in place.
Yeah.
All the data's there. It's just you just gotta follow it, and it guides you through. All you gotta do is just read it, do your homework, and basically the sky's the limit.
Makes sense. So you're sold on it. It seems like you were just looking in ecom. You were looking in
Yeah,
Shopify.
I was looking at ecom. I mean, there's other things as far as like construction and stuff like that. I was gonna invest my money in there. Um, there's some other gimmicks or whatnot. It just the safest one for me was Amazon. I did look around for all different types of things. It just I didn't feel safe for investing my money in any of those. Amazon was the one.
Makes sense. And how did you know Amazon was safe at the time? Like before you even got into it?
Like I said, a few of my friends done it in the past,
Uh-huh.
and I seen them being very successful. Um, One of my friends actually built a gym here in Boca, and I asked him, well, how'd you get that gym? He said he started off at Amazon, right?
Mhm.
And then from Amazon, he started going to different avenues, but Amazon gave him the capital to do those different avenues that he got into.
Makes
He got
sense.
yeah, he got into real estate and stuff like that after, but you gotta have capital, which Amazon will provide that for you.
Makes sense. So your buddies were already doing Amazon. You're like, yo, you know what? I'm already looking into ecom. probably
Yeah.
going to make most sense if I go down that route. So you decide to get into Amazon. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know like before we started working together, you were already doing Amazon.
Yeah, yeah. So I basically before I met you, I did 5K by myself. I was selling cat food. And anything that was anything that was to make me money, I would do it. I would be basically watching like YouTube channels for hours and hours and hours, right? Because while I was working at the dealership, I had spare time, right? And on that spare time, I was watching YouTube channels or YouTube videos, right? And I was watching this lady, Jasmine. I was watching all different types of videos, right? On how to scale your Amazon business. I just didn't have the guidance,
Uh-huh.
um, to scale a little bit more. But that's what kind of got me into Amazon is my buddies that I seen their success. I'm not saying 100% of their success is from Amazon, but that's where they started.
Yeah.
And they went from Amazon to real estate, and then from real estate, then they scaled. But without Amazon, they wouldn't be where they are today.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So you got started with Amazon. I just want to kind of know like a little bit more about how you got started, because most people at home, like they're watching this right now, they're probably
Mhm.
like, dude, like you got started with Amazon by yourself, did your first 5K in sales. Like, how was that possible? What did the output look like on how much you were watching these YouTube videos? Like, what did that actually look like?
So I just basically did the whole thing myself. So basically, I watched a video on how to create your own Amazon sellers account. Okay. And then from building my own Amazon seller account, I was watching people doing videos where they go into the store and they scan the barcode and they put in the cost, right? And then on the bottom, it'll tell you what the profit is, right? So I tried that, and then I also tried like different websites. I think it was called Inventory Module or something like that. It was some type of site where it goes and tells you what store is selling a certain product for an X amount and what's the profit going to be on Amazon for this amount. But what I found wrong with that store, with that website is, yes, it was great, but guess what? How many different buyers are going to go buy that same item? So you had so much competition at that point, right?
Mhm.
So those leads were just not good. So basically, what I did is I got off my butt after work, right? After working sometimes maybe 9, 10, sometimes even 12 hours, I will go out to Ross. I will go out to Walmart. I will go out to TJ Maxx. I will go out to those retail stores, and which be at Marshalls also. I will go out to those retail stores, have my cell phone ready with my Amazon seller account, and I'll go in there and basically scan every barcode that was available, and I put in the costs, and from there I built it little by little by myself.
Mhm.
I did the shipping, I did the packing. Um, I sent everything to Amazon myself. I watched all videos on YouTube on how to do all of that. All I did all of that alone.
That's
I
awesome.
just I didn't have the structure to build it though. That's
Uh-huh.
that's what I was missing.
I'm just curious, how long did you spend like watching YouTube videos just trying to figure that stuff out way back in the day?
Um, Hours, man. I spent hours and hours and hours of endless hours of watching videos. That's how determined I was of trying to build this business,
Yeah.
by myself. And then, I came to realize where it's just like you really can't build a business by yourself. You just can't. Yeah, it's you got to get somebody that already done the job.
Uh-huh. Makes
You know,
sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Okay, sweet, sweet. So you got to the point, you kind of learned the basic frameworks of Amazon, spent hundreds of hours watching YouTube videos. And it seems like you got to the point where, I mean, you were just going to stores, buying inventory, maybe didn't know the technicalities about that product research and stuff like
Correct.
that. But you were getting sales, you were seeing progress. So that must have been very exciting.
Yes, it was. So the only thing that I knew about like kind of like product research, I didn't even know Keep would exist at that point. I was breaking it based off of BSR rank. Like I knew the lower BSR rank, the better
Yeah, yeah.
product was, right?
Uh,
But I was not knowing that, like if you go into the store and you found like a bra, right? Of Under Armour bra, right? And they had a low BSR rank, that doesn't necessarily mean that that product's going to sell, right?
yeah.
And that's the structure I was missing. Because I was going into stores, right? And the variations were off, the BSR ranks were off. There's a lot of things that I didn't know at the beginning.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, sweet, sweet. But you were seeing those sales, you didn't know you were making those mistakes. And then when did you first hear about me?
So, basically, just like I learned everything else, just scrolling through my phone, and I seen one of your TikToks.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, just scrolling through my phone, I was like, man, this kid looks like he knows what he's doing, and
Yeah.
and for me, in order for me to scale, um, I have to get someone that already knows the business, right? Just coming from the background business. I'm sorry, from the background, from the car business, right? I know without getting a experienced car salesman to help you out, you will fail, right? So that's how I know to get a mentor. At that point, I'm like, okay, now I see that there's money here. I need to scale a little bit more. So I need someone to guide me through this, right?
Makes sense. Makes sense. So like what piqued your interest about me specifically? Like how'd you know? Like, yo, Jaden knows what he's talking about. He's on point with Amazon selling.
Um, I, first of all, when I talk to you, it was instinct. I read people. And then as far as like, it's just you seemed like you knew what you were talking about when I did an interview with you. You kind of knew exactly what you were talking about. And even before I became one of your students, you were willing to help. Um, I asked you a few questions. I remember getting stuck on sending an item in, and he was like, "Hey, bro, what do you need help on inventory lab?" So you were there, and you kind of already knew the knowledge or whatnot, and you were willing to help without me even being one of your students at that point.
Mhm.
So that right there gained a little trust, and then I just basically build up from there. I mean, the relationship build up from there.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I remember that. Like back on, I think we first met on Facebook and we would just go back and forth. You were asking me questions, and then eventually we hopped on a call. You became one of our students in the academy. And yeah, like just kind of getting into that. I know what we've been, I think we got you started back in March of 2022. You're one of our first clients. So we got you started in March 2022. Let's talk about like the first 6 months of us working together from March all the way to what around November, December. Like what type of results did you see in those first 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the results, I was going into the stores and spending like $2,000-3,000 at a time, and then the ROIs were maybe like 20-30% back on each thousand and whatnot. So it wasn't hesitant to invest more. Um, I can also say is just like I think I would have got a lot more as far as like scaling, I just basically had like a personal injury in my back. So this 150K that we're talking about was supposed to be a lot more.
Mhm.
It's just me personally, I just stopped because I had that injury. But if I didn't have that injury into play, because at that point I had an injury and I didn't even want to work on nothing, not even my full time job. I just basically, once you have like a back injury, I wish that on nobody. um, once I had that injury, it kind of stopped me from working on
Mhm.
Amazon. I took time off, basically, right?
Oh,
So the 150K we're talking about, it could be a lot more if I had that drive at that point. At that point, I didn't have the drive. So this fast forwarding to 2023, when I talked to you again, I was like, "Hey Jay, I had that injury or whatnot, and then you got me back on point. You inspired me to do more, and then I would say the last few months it's been a dramatic, really, really like it's been a big, big change, a big enough change for me to leave my job,
mhm.
instantly.
Makes sense. So, I mean, talk about more like now compared to back then when you were starting out, you were getting all your information from YouTube. How did your process change? Have you noticed like any differences or anything like that?
Yeah. So basically, when I was getting all that information off of YouTube, I was doing more RA, retail arbitrage versus OA.
Mhm.
Um, so I was spending a lot of my time going into the stores and scanning all the items myself personally. And then I was coming home. I even got my mom, I got my dad involved, and my mom, my dad, and my girl were all here. My whole living room was full of um, shoes and clothes and merchandise in my living room, my back room. The whole house was filled. We got some boxes from U-Haul. I got a whole bunch of tape, and we basically boxed all the items. We shipped it to Amazon, but basically what happened was that took time, right? Especially with a full-time job, I couldn't scale it as much as I wanted to.
Mhm.
So we had to make a change with that. So basically what we did, we moved to OA, right? And we got a couple of VAs to help us out. And then when we got the VAs, that helped us scale a lot more because instead of spending $2,000-3,000, every like 2 weeks, we could spend that in 1 week,
Yeah.
right? Or now we could spend like maybe $6,000-7,000 in 1 week with 2 or 3 VAs, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Versus spending that in 1 month. So that made us scale a lot bigger.
Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like that's one thing that just people don't know, where like with Amazon, I feel like it's just like about your spend. You know what I'm saying? Like the more money you spend, the more money you make. That's kind of how this game works. And also you really only have two constraints. Either you have a capital problem and you can't invest enough money into the products you're finding, or you have a time problem and you can't actually have enough time to find the products um, uh, for the capital you have to spend. So yeah, that's kind of what we did there. So getting back to when you first joined, like let's just say like first 2 months, because I know you already started Amazon, you did 5K in sales, you had the basic foundations already, but you still joined the academy. What did you realize? Like 1-2 months into the academy that you should have been doing that you weren't doing before.
Number one thing that you taught me in the academy was keeper.
Mhm.
Keeper is the goal. Uh, it's the basically heart and soul of Amazon, right? So that's what the academy taught me. It taught me how to read the keeper chart, right? From A to Z, right? Um, how to make my time more efficient, right? Um, how to shop a lot smarter, right? As far as like BSR ranks, it's just it's a lot more technical than most people think. And in order for you to get that knowledge, you need someone there to kind of guide you, right? And without that guidance, I don't think you're gonna scale as fast. It's probably gonna take you, if I did not get involved in the academy, it will probably take me, I would say, 3 to 4 years to get me at the point where I'm at now today, where I'm at, right?
Makes sense.
If I didn't join the academy, right? Um, it's just the academy helped me grow dramatically. As far as like reading people's charts, introduced me to VAs, um, showing me Excel sheets. The Excel sheets were helpful as far as like organizing your inventory, right? Um, you basically help me out with the cash flow, right? What money's going in, what money's coming out. The bottom line is what counts also at the end of the month. You want to know what your profit is, right?
Exactly.
Um, how how to get unstuck if basically if I have stranded inventory, right? How to deal with returns. I mean, we really don't got to deal with returns, but sometimes you get inventory that's stranded there, right? You got to know how to get that inventory back to return it to the stores, right?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of background information that I did not know that the academy did teach me. Um, it and it helps out in the long run. The academy is going to show you all of the skills you need to know to grow. It's you can't really go into something and say I know it all. When you know something and you feel like you know it all, you really don't. There's always somebody out there that knows a little bit more than what you know.
Mhm.
And in order for you to grow, you got to be coachable. And you got to learn. And without learning a skill, then you're just gonna be stuck where you're at. You definitely want to grow.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe, I mean, there's two ways to learn. Either you could learn by yourself, watching YouTube, going on the internet, learning from your failures, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you pay with that through time. Whereas if you find someone who's already done that, right, it's going to speed up your process dramatically to get you to where you want to go. And just so people could put it in perspective, because like these people haven't even got started with Amazon, probably don't are on the fence about getting started. I mean, from you starting the academy to let's just say 60 days. I know this was a long time ago. What type of differences did you see? You did 5K by yourself,
Mhm.
moving into let's just say next 60 days being in the academy, numbers wise, what differences did you see?
If I didn't quadruple yeah, basically I went from like maybe 5K to like 20K in like 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so another 20,000 dollars more from doing it by myself than joining the academy. And the money's totally worth it. I
Makes
mean,
sense.
I don't know, the money's worth it. It's just you're gonna spend a lot of time, right, trying to learn by yourself. Uh, and you're gonna spend a lot more money trying to learn by yourself also. You're gonna make so much mistakes and money versus having somebody there to guide you. It's definitely worth it because instead of you going there and buying the wrong product, right, and having that product stuck on the shelf for 12 months, and then once it's stuck on 12 months, Amazon's going to start charging you for having that product stuck on their shelves
Yeah.
because the product's not gonna sell, and you had no idea that the product's not gonna sell because you're over here trying to do everything by yourself.
Mhm.
That's definitely not helpful. But the academy will teach you what products to buy, right? Because as soon as those products land on the shelves, within 30 to 45 days, those products are gone.
Mhm.
Right? Why? Because the keeper chart, the keeper's there.
Yeah.
And the academy is going to teach you how to read the keeper chart. They're going to teach you how to read the BSR ranks, right? You're going to have help. You're going to have the coaches there to help you out, right? It's not like you're going to join an academy and they're just going to leave you, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, so you join an academy and they have classes, you know, and when they have those classes, that's the time for you to ask, right? Questions. If you're stranded, ask, and that's what I did. I can show you my WhatsApp. I text Jaden these big old messages. It's like, hey Jaden, I am stuck. I need your help, and then listen, even if he has to hop on one-on-one calls with you, he will. Um, and he got me unstuck, and look at me now, man. I'm over here working full time with Amazon, and wake up when I want to, go to sleep when I want to. I just came back on a cruise. I went to Puerto Rico. I went to Dominican Republic. You
Yeah.
know,
Living
I
life.
was in Jaden's neighborhood. I didn't even know I was there. That beach in his background, I was there last week. So Amazon's gonna give you that freedom that you thought you never would get. And that's what Amazon's gonna do. It's gonna scale you up.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. So yeah, man, I know we been working, yeah, I think last 12 months now. What's your current revenue right now?
So in days, and I just showed Jaden my chart. I'm hitting like $3,000 days right now. So
Could you
uh,
show me like your last 7 days just selling right now?
let's see if I can find it. So I don't know if you guys see that. Well, probably not.
I think
Cameras.
you gotta turn off your virtual background.
I don't know how to do all that, guys.
on, on Zoom. If you go click the camera button and just turn off your virtual background.
I don't want to stop the video.
Or if that doesn't work, what you could do is also just pull up your Amazon seller on your computer, just share your screen.
Yeah, I got you. I'll do that. I'm logging on right now, guys. Okay.
All right.
By the way, Puerto Rico is really nice. Never been there before in my life.
Yeah, man. It's great out here. Come move out here.
Alrighty, let me go back to the Zoom and I'll share my screen. All right, guys. And that's another thing that Jaden helps you out with is, I'm a little bit older, so computer technology or whatnot, it's not my forte, but he's always there to help.
Mhm.
So as guys can see, it fluctuates, right? So 1,100 there, 2,300 there, 2,600 there, 2,600, 1,600. So it kind of goes up and down. As you can see over here, I have 191 orders there, $10,000 balance there. So just in this 191 orders here, I probably have anywhere like 15 to $20,000 in just open orders right here. So this open orders is gonna go over here. So that's about $25,000 that Amazon owes me. You know,
And just refresh this so people don't think it's like a screenshot or something.
you want me to refresh it?
Yeah, just like that.
Oh, okay. That's the refreshment.
Oh, oh, there we go. Sweet, man. Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna unshare your screen now. And yeah, man. So right now, like, yeah, doing around almost 3K per day now. How does that feel now?
Man, it's definitely, it's kind of overwhelming, but at the same time, it's not. It feels good. It feels real good. If I could keep that pace up, was $3,000 times 30, right? And then whatever that number is, you times that by 12. What is that?
It's like around 1.2 million.
So $1.2 million.
Yeah. Pretty solid, pretty solid.
I don't
And
think I'll ever make that in the car business.
you have to own multiple dealerships or something like that.
Yeah.
So for you now you've gotten to the point. When did you go full time with Amazon?
So I went last month. Last month I went full time.
Last month went full time with
Mhm.
Amazon, got out
Mhm.
of the car business. How does that feel? Because I like your whole goal getting into this business, what since 2020 was to
To get
quit,
out.
get time back, get that freedom. So how does that feel now being able to achieve that goal?
It's changed my life dramatically. I have so much time, I don't even know what to do with it. But um, the feeling, I can't even describe it. It's just one word. It feels great, man. Very excited. Yeah, I have more time now. I'm remodeling my whole backyard. My backyard, I have not touched it since I bought my house in 2018. So now you walk back there, and you know I have more time to do more work around the house and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing now. Within the past month, I'm keeping myself busy or whatnot. So I mean, overall, I'm very, very excited. It's I would have never got to this point unless Amazon was involved in my life.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and my family appreciates it. Yeah, everybody appreciates it. And I told Jaden you know, uh, over WhatsApp, I'm like, dude, I appreciate everything you've done for me and my family. Because it was very shocking seeing, like, these type of sales go to my, like, when I was at the dealership, and I was like, no, this can't be real. This can't be real. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it can't. Yeah, and then I'm like, it felt good telling my boss that, hey, today's my last day.
Yeah,
It
no.
felt good. He's like, well, what the hell are you gonna do? It's like, don't worry about it, man. I'm out. That feeling that I had walking out that day was really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I bet that would be crazy, especially since you've been working there your whole life and just being
Yeah,
able to tell them, yo, you know what? I'm
basically
out.
since I was a kid, man. I'm 32 years old. I've been there since I was 22, right? So almost 9 going on 10 years, right? So it just felt really good. Felt
Yeah.
really, really good. I'm really, really excited leaving that place. And don't get me wrong, it was very hard for me to leave because I was making good money there.
Yeah.
I was making 10, $15,000 a month, sometimes even 20. So leaving that job was really hard for me, and very scary.
Mhm.
But with these type of numbers, why do I need to work that hard and have my family suffer?
Exactly. Exactly. So like what's the plan for the future? Like let it map out the next 6 months, year for me.
Yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scale this OA. I'm gonna scale for the next 3 to 4 months. And then what also gonna do is probably move into wholesale.
Mhm.
Um, and wholesale, that's where the real money's at. I'm watching a few people doing wholesale right now, of course, on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. I'm seeing them; they're hitting like $1 million a month. You know,
Yeah,
$2-3 million a month. You know, and that's the next level. Um, so, you got to start off small. You got to crawl before you run.
mhm.
So this is kind of like um, my crawling stages, but it's enough for me to leave my full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just the natural progression of sellers, right? Where OA maxes out. I mean, realistically, it probably maxes out around 2, 3, 400K per month. Past that point, normally most people will just move more into wholesale, scale to more million, 10 million, 20 million a month, right? If that's the goal, that's the vision, which it is for you. So that makes sense. And just like getting back to like the beginning when we first started, like what kicked you over the fence to get started with the academy when we were on that call?
Yeah, I mean, I just knew I needed some type of guidance, and just talking with you, you kind of knew what you were talking about, and then just the history of you trying to help out without me being one of your students, that gave me like some type of assurance of uh, kind of trust there, you know.
Mhm,
Um, so, and then you drew up a plan, right? And with that plan, I believed in it.
mhm,
You had a plan of me, basically scaling my business to $30,000 a month, and when you drew up that plan, I was like, no way. I didn't believe it. I was like, no, he's not gonna be able to do it. Then the next month or two within it, and looked at my phone at work. I'm like, wow, it's really happening. It's really happening.
yeah.
So for anybody that's basically doubting getting into the academy, um, you guys are just basically doubting yourself, because the evidence is there of making money. The Keepa chart is going to guide you through it, right? You have a couple of, Jaden has a couple of coaches that guide you through. So if you ever get stuck, they're always there to help you, right? You won't ever feel like you're alone or you're by yourself because you have a team of experts that have been in the business for quite a bit, and they will help you out um, to scale to that 20, 30, 40, $50,000 per month, you know. Um, but in order for me to build that confidence, I just had to give it a try,
Mhm,
and without me trying, um, I would never go nowhere if I don't try. Even if, say if I gave you a try and it didn't work out, at least I could tell myself I tried. Um, but fortunately, at this point, it did work out. And I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I left my job. If I could do it, you guys can do it. I would call myself a little cockroach, right? I'm a little cockroach in the Amazon game. And if I could do 30, 40, $50,000 a month, then you guys can too.
mhm,
It's just the only thing that's stopping you is going to be you. It's basically you're scared, and I know that feeling of being scared because you're investing money and to a stranger that you don't know. But guess what? This stranger been a seller on Amazon for years. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's there to help you out. You call him, you text him, he's going to answer. You're stuck on something. He has weekly calls. You could call him and he'll answer. That's
mhm.
the thing about your academy. You guys answer. You're very responsive. So that's one thing that I can say about your academy is that you guys are always there and always helpful.
Mhm.
Um, and that's, yeah, if I could say something to the new buyers, well, I'm sorry, not new buyers. I'm used to saying buyers because I'm selling cars, but
Yeah.
um, new students, don't be scared, man, because like at the end of the day, the only thing that's holding you back is gonna be you.
Mhm.
Um, because if you're stuck in that job and I told Jaden this, when I walked in that dealership, it felt like I put like alcohol all over my face in the morning time. That's how I felt when I walked into that dealership. It stung me walking into that place. Right? I hated working at that place. If you feel like that, then you should at least give it a try. I did, and I became very successful. And if I can become successful, then any one of you guys can, because I'm not like some big time guy. I'm just a regular average Joe.
Yeah,
I do
no.
have a kid, I'm a family man, I'm just a regular guy. I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not a millionaire or nothing like that. I will be very, very, very shortly within this year or year and a half. I will.
Yeah, no, exactly. So
But
you would recommend people to work with us?
100%,
Mhm.
100%. Uh, the the only reason why they won't work with you is because they're scared. But why be scared? Anything in life, like buying my house was scary, right? Buying my new car was scary. But if I never bought my house, I wouldn't have $200,000 in equity that I have right now, right?
Yeah.
So it, you know, in life you have to jump at opportunities when God brings them to you. Um, if things go wrong, so what? So be it. But in this case, things can't go wrong because you have all the evidence there, right? Which is Keepa and all the other guidance that you're gonna get from your coaches, right? And you have the support. You have all the support team, and then not only that, you have students like me, right? That you could contact me, and I could even tell you, like, dude, this class is very successful. You could contact me. I'll give you my number if you want to. And I'll tell you guys that, it's not, but you got to do the work. You can't just come on here and just be lazy and expect to become a millionaire without doing any work. You gotta work. I'm not saying you're gonna work hard, but you gotta work a little bit. And once you put that little bit of work in there, you're gonna be good.
Mhm. Yeah, no, you gotta work anything worth having, right? You gotta work hard. If it's easy, everybody would have it. What's just like one piece of advice you would give to people who are just interested in this business right now?
Um, I don't know, man. I guess I felt like I said a lot. But as far as advice, it's just stop stop listening to people that stay in the same place.
Hmm.
If you feel like you're stuck and um you feel like your life is going nowhere and you hate going to your regular 9 to 5 job, and you want to find a way out, Amazon's the key because they're building an avenue, right, for us average guys to grow, right? Amazon is, I would say, what, 70-75% of all third party sellers,
Yeah, somewhere around there.
right? So they're not getting rid of us anytime soon, right?
Mhm.
And Amazon's growing. So we are the future of the e-commerce business. Without us, they have nothing, right?
Exactly.
So we, as far as the buyers, we need to grow also, right? Um, but as far as like advice, you guys just don't listen to people that are not going anywhere. If I listen to a couple of my friends they were telling me, oh, that's a scam. Oh, don't listen to those guys. There's so much of them online. I would never be at the point where I'm at now. Because, don't listen to the negativity. Um, that's all I can say is just don't listen to the negativity and just, stick with yourself, do your job, do your work, and watch the money grow.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. You got to stay focused on what you're actually trying to achieve, and if that person didn't achieve it, then you can't take their advice, right? So yeah, man, this has been great, Danny. Thank you so much just for your time, and the people who are watching at home. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys. Bye bye.